Hello friend, John Dalton here, Further Emergence podcast, where we explore consciousness, the mystery and love. And in this episode we're going into thinking, drama, shadow work, being tender, being wholehearted, getting what you want, following your heart, wisdom, the importance of small actions, and the power of the moment. And there's a question about sleep, getting to sleep. So let's have a look at the memes on the Further Emergence Instagram feed. Because the meditation training is coming up, I think I was just tickled a lot by ones to do with mind and thinking and how it all works. And this is one of them. It says, my mind is like my internet browser. 19 tabs open, 3 of them are frozen, and I have no idea where the music is coming from. I think that's so funny. And I probably do have 19 tabs open on my internet browser. But I thought it was a good description of mind. Mind can be like that. You know, you can be humming a song. You can be having a fight with your dead grandmother. You can be having another fight with yourself about something else. There can be so much going on. And, you know, it's just, I don't know where it comes from. So that's why meditation is so helpful, because it stops all that, you know, even briefly, it stops all that, and you get to hear the silence, and then you get to hear the silence communicating with you. Well, I think that's really funny. Anyway, I really like that one. I didn't write the next one either. It's very revolutionary, this idea. It's just very simple. It says it's okay to be happy with a calm life. And you'd think that's like, you go, oh, well, of course it's okay. You know, what do you mean it's okay to be happy with the calm life? But when you sort of run that statement through your life, it's easy to get glimpses of how you create drama. While the drama is going on, there's a feeling of, oh my God, I wish I could just get a rest from this drama. But when you think about having a calm life and there being no drama going on, if you look into the edges of that, you can feel a feeling of like, oh, no drama. Oh, it's a bit boring, really. That's why I think that's confronting. Because by exploring that possibility of having a calm life, you get to see, oh, maybe I'm making up some of this drama just to keep myself interested. Maybe I like it, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. But seeing that and seeing that you are creating your own dramas, it gives you the opportunity to enjoy them so much more. Because then you're not giving you're a little bit more conscious about the whole thing. You're like, it's so much drama going on, but I love it. I did write the next one. It says, as within flows without. The more we face our shadow, the less we project it onto others. The more tolerance we have for ourselves, the more tolerance we have for others. The more kindness we show ourselves, the more kindness we show to others. So I wrote that really to try and encapsulate this idea that it has to be 360 degree love. It can't be just 180 degree love, because then it's not really love. And what I mean by 180 degrees is it's all forward facing. I can be kind to other people. I can be generous to other people. I can forgive other people. But me, no, I'm not going to be kind to me. I'm not going to forgive me. I'm not going to do anything like that I would do to other people. But it's only until you do it for yourself, you face your shadow, you look into, like I was saying in the earlier one, I think I'm getting something out of this drama. Or maybe it's a big drama. Maybe you kind of initially kind of go, I don't want this in my life. But then when you look into it, you know what? I kind of secretly enjoy it. That's your shadow work. So it's this idea of, if I really want to be really kind to other people, the kinder I am to myself, the more that will be reflected out to others. The more I look into my own shadow, the less I'll project it, It's like a sandwich. You squeeze it down, it comes out the sides. So you're better off not to squeeze anything down, but to, face your shadow on the inside. Be tolerant of yourself on the inside. Love all the bits of you. For me, it always feels like there's the different parts have different amounts of consciousness. The frontal part, this part that's talking to you now, it's the least conscious part of me. Yet it has to deal with everything. It has to deal with the postman and how to get your car taxed and how to work computers and talk to people and all that sort of stuff. Least conscious part of me, yet it has to interface with everybody. So I've got a lot of compassion for this part of me. I think it's doing very well, all things considered. The deeper parts, they've got a lot more consciousness, and then they sort of percolate forward, and then this poor frontal part has to deal with it, deal with what this knowledge that just gets these parcels of knowledge, So the more kind you can be to yourself and love all the different parts of you, the more you can express yourself and express your love for other people as well. Didn't write this one. It's of a cinema, old school cinema kind of sign outside, the ones that used to light up. And it says, it's in your self-interest to find a way to be very tender. I remember years ago, a friend of mine, and this is many years ago, 40 years ago, a friend of mine said to me, everything we do is selfish. And I was like, that's not, oh my God, that's absolutely not true. Oh no, I do, And he was very smart person, and he any argument I came up with was able to demonstrate that it was selfish. And I remember going home that night and kind of stewing about it. I remember coming back the next day and going, yeah, well, that you're right, but that's just because you're right doesn't mean you're right. And I think what I was having difficulty explaining was that while it's true, everything that we do is selfish. If you trace it back and you're honest with yourself, you'll see that you're getting something out of everything you do. Even the most altruistic thing, you're getting something out of it. And that's fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's better to be honest about it. That doesn't stop you doing the kind things. But it sort of helps to remove the sort of sanctimonious air that you develop when you think you're doing things for other people, I love giving people gifts, I can remember when I got my Holy Communion money. That was the thing, you made your Holy Communion and you got money. I ran down to the shops and bought everybody in the family lollipops with my money, Now you could say, oh my God, what a sweet little boy. How caring, how giving, Yep, true. But when I look at it, I did that because I really like the feeling of giving people things, that's the feeling I like, So being honest with yourself like that and see, that's why I like this one, because it's in your self-interest to be very tender. When you start to explore that, it's like, what do you mean? Wouldn't it be better for me if I was harder? Wouldn't I get further? And it's like, yeah, you would probably externally, but internally you wouldn't feel good. You would start to harden up on the inside, and you'd lose touch with your sweet nature, which eventually just makes you feel horrible and you get sick. Whether that's sick mentally or physically, it doesn't matter, but it just erodes you. It's actually better for you, even though you mightn't do as well outwardly, if you are doing it for the right reasons, meaning you understand why you're doing it. If you are tender because it's the best thing for you, then you'll stay tender and you'll stay soft on the inside and you won't harden up. So this idea of running everything through your self-interest, it's very good. Takes that whiff of sanctimony off you. I love this one. I love posting it. Don't half-ass anything. Whatever you do, always use your full ass. And this applies to everything, but particularly enlightenment. I've found that the subject of enlightenment can be quite confronting for people. It can bring up things for them. And I've always encouraged people to when I think it's this meme I think of when I'm talking about it. It comes across as like I'm saying to everyone, oh, you have to get enlightened. No, you don't. No, most people are not interested in it, and that's fine. But if you are interested in it, then what I've noticed people do is they discount the whole thing of enlightenment, and they kind of go, oh, it's, yeah, what's the big deal with enlightenment anyway? And why would, does it matter? Does it really matter? And, and that's fine. But if you're interested in it, then there's something about it that speaks to you. And that's when I think this meme comes in. It's like, go for it. Go fully 100% into it. because I think a lot of people back off from it because they kind of think, well, it's unattainable. And that's probably because of the way it's couched. Often it's kind of talked about as if it is this unattainable thing, But it's not. Of course, it's very attainable. And it starts with this kind of going, you know what? I want to get enlightened. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to find out how to do it. I'm going to get clearer about what enlightenment means for me. I'm going to discard all the stuff that I don't care about, walking on water, changing things, being super happy all the time. No, I just, this is what I've come across this person who I recognize being enlightened. I want to be like them. And I'm going to just fully commit to it. I'm not half-assing it. I'm using my full ass to get enlightened. Yeah, I like that very much. I did write this one, but I didn't come up with it, but I did make the meme. I heard somebody else. Well, it's kind of a thing in manifestation circles. You don't get what you want, you get who you are. And that is a very revolutionary idea, because if you're interested in manifestation, or you're just interested in the world, your existence, you look out into existence, and you can kind of go, this is a reflection of me. That's hard to do. It's shocking to do, but it changes things on the inside. So if you're like, I want to be a millionaire, and it's like, well, you just look around. What you see around you is who you are. So you're going to have to change who you are, or bring forward that millionaire part of you until you can see it in the external world. It's very powerful because you're acknowledging that you're the source of everything, that it all comes out of you. If you want the relationship of your life, you've got to look around at your relationship or your lack of relationship, and you've got to draw it out of you on the inside and let go of things that are getting in the way. Often it's not about becoming the millionaire or the person who has the love life they always wanted or whatever. It's not about becoming that. It's about excavating it. It's in there, and it's about helping to let go of all the things that are stopping that from happening, stopping that expressing itself. So you don't get what you want, you get who you are. Radical stuff. I didn't write this one either. Rumi did. Good old Rumi, back for another visit. It says, let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love. It will not lead you astray. That's so beautiful. So true as well. I should add a little caveat there that it won't lead you astray, but that doesn't mean it's going to give you an easy life. Like there was a famous book years ago called Do What You Love and the Money Will Follow. It doesn't. It doesn't. I tried it in many different ways. It doesn't. There's a lot more to it than that. But if you allow yourself to follow what you love, and really I think what they're talking about, or what he's talking about, is your spiritual life, this deep calling. Like, why you'd be listening to me and not some crime podcast or some podcast to do with something completely different, that something is drawing you. And whenever you hear echoes of it, you're kind of attracted to it. To follow that, I found that doesn't lead you astray. But that doesn't mean it's going to be easy, But it's easier than not following it, in my experience. I didn't write this one. I suspect Mark Twain does. It's the sort of thing that he would say. It says, when I was young, I didn't know the meaning of life. But after many years of hard study, I'm no longer young. So true. It was my birthday during the week. And so, this thing of like, I'm no longer young. It's like that thing I've said before. There's no guarantee of wisdom with age. You don't just get it automatically. It doesn't just happen to you. And you can see a lot of people who are older who kind of swan around as if, well, I'm X number of years old, so listen to me, I am now wise. And you're listening to them going, no, you're not. You're a big baby. You're just rigid, or I don't, here. And like, I know some very young people, like people in their 20s, who are very wise in my estimation. So there's no guarantee of age, but I think it's lovely, this idea of, I didn't know the meaning of life when I was young, and then after years of hard study, I'm no longer young. It's kind of true, because you're going, or I know for myself anyway, I'm going deeper and deeper into the mystery, which is a kind of a clue in the name. It's the mystery. It's like, yeah, bits of it are revealed, but most of it, like 99% of it, and a lot more actually, is it remains mysterious. And if you're okay with that and don't feel like, you have to have it all figured out, then you can just enjoy the process of discovery and growing, because we're always growing. I didn't write this one. Maria Popova did. Maria Popova, who has got a lovely newsletter called The Marginillion. And she says, you can't tidy up the White House, but you can tidy up that neglected, messy corner of your home. You can't mend the world, but you can mend the hole in the polka dot pocket of your favourite coat. They're not the same thing, but they're part of the same thing, which is all there is. Life living itself through us, moment by moment, one broken, beautiful thing at a time. That's good, isn't it? One broken, beautiful thing at a time. And it kind of ties into what I was talking about last week about fixing things and repairing things. There's something so satisfying about that. And I think part of it is what she's talking about there is, like, when you repair something, you're kind of doing something about a thing that's broken. Because it's so easy to feel like the forces in the world are so powerful and you're just a little small, insignificant. What can I do? What can one person do? Well, lots of people have demonstrated what one person can do. But maybe you're not moved to start a big movement. Maybe you're not moved to write a novel that's going to change the world, or write a piece of music, or become some, huge civil rights person, or become a Greta Thunberg type person. But, you can do little things, and maybe the little things add to big things. Like when Greta Thunberg started, can you imagine I don't know what age she was. Let's say she was 13. Your 13-year-old daughter says, I'm not going to school today. Okay, why? I'm going on strike for the climate. I've made this poster and I'm going to stand outside. I'm going to sit outside the parliament. That's a small thing. And yet it's become a big thing, because she's struck the kind of chord of her generation of going, what are you oldies doing about this? There's a big problem here. The house is on fire. I think that's one of the things she said. So, but that started with the little thing, So mending something in the corner of your room, tidying up something. These are the things you can do, and they're so satisfying to do. I wrote this one. The moment holds the peace. It always has. The past and the future are smoke in the mind. Let the wind blow through you and rest in the moment. Miraculous things always happen in the moment. It's a great reminder, this. The moment, okay? As I've said, I can't really come into the moment. I can get about 5 minutes on either side of it, but to actually come into the moment, it moves too fast for me. And that's after many years of meditation. It still moves too fast. Like if you just think about when you're talking, by the time you get to the end of the sentence, you have the thought, I'm going to say the sentence. By the time I get to the end of the sentence, the moment has moved so fast that the beginning of the sentence has disappeared. In fact, the word, if you narrow it down into the word, by the time you start saying the word and you get to the end of the word, the beginning of the word has disappeared because the moment is going so fast. It reminds me of the speed of light. You can approach it, but it doesn't seem like you can get to it. But it's very good to reflect on the moment and really go, what, the past and the future, they really don't exist. I can think about the future and I can think about the past, but all I've got is right now, just what's happening right now. And right now is continually moving all the time, right? So you're in this kind of super fast thing that is constantly at the same speed. So in a way, you can kind of, like when you meditate, you can kind of settle into the speed of how fast now goes. And weirdly, it kind of opens up as you drop into it more. And it can feel like time is standing still, So it's very good to reflect on the moment. And this is a nice little meme to remind me to do that, me and you. So I had a new section last week of film recommendations. This was a TV recommendation, and it's for a TV series called Better Things. And it's written and I think directed and starred in by a woman called Pamela Adlon. And I think there's like 4 or 5 seasons, but I found it quite remarkable in lots of ways. Number one, that she got it made, because on the surface it's kind of like a gritty, I don't like using that word, it's nice to look at, but it's kind of, deals with difficult topics, gritty. Sitcom, really, because it's kind of funny. Like, I think she was a comedian, or no, she was a voice actor, that's right, for cartoons and things like that. But this is just about her and her life in Los Angeles with her 3 teenage daughters and what happens between them, which sounds like, half the Brady Bunch, really, doesn't it? It's not like that at all. And what I'm amazed is that the way she's put it together, there are these long moments, awkward moments of silence. Now, they feel long, maybe they're not long, but watching it, I was kind of watching it amazed, going, this is really kind of uncomfortable, but yet it's very real. There's something very real being communicated here. And the fights that she gets into with her daughters, she's a very complex kind of character herself. I just found it, little kind of gem in the middle of all the other kind of things that are available that are very superficial to me. This one actually felt like it had a bit of depth, and it's funny. So yes, I recommend that to you. Better Things, Pamela Adlon. Now, the question come in on the Discord about sleep. Hi, John. Any life hack about going to sleep to make the transition between the day and falling asleep smoother? Well, I think it starts with knowing that sleep is a natural thing. If you start with that, like your body, you put it horizontally, you get it in a reasonably comfortable position, whatever that is for you, it'll go asleep. You don't have to do much to make it happen. But if you get a bit too self-conscious about it, you get what sports people call the yips, where they can't do the thing that's natural to them. Like golfers get it with putting, baseball players get it with hitting the bat thing, whatever that's called. They're not pitchers, they're, batting, let's call it that. The simplest thing, the thing they've done 1,000 times, suddenly they can't do it and they start to overthink it. I think that's what the yips are. It's a bit like trying to be spontaneous. You can't do it. So, number one, I think the main thing is to know it's a naturally occurring thing and to let it happen. Now, you can do kind of meditation things as well, but meditation horizontally is very different to meditation vertically, Like when you meditate and you're sitting up, you have a sense of dropping down into your system, which in some way makes you feel deeper. When you meditate lying down, you feel like you're dropping at the back of your head, or I do anyway, and other people have reported they do as well, which is a different thing. And in a way, you kind of do that when you sleep. But you can do the thing of turning the pictures off, turning the sound off, and repeatedly doing that, and then you'll just naturally sort of transition into it. If it's a big kind of problem for you, then getting physically tired is a good way of doing it. I wouldn't do it close to bedtime. It's not like I'm saying, you go to the gym before bed. Some people do, and it works great for them. I think you release a lot of chemicals, a lot of endorphins when you do exercise, so you're better off to let all those settle down. And probably something a bit more grounded. If you've got a garden, go digging or that kind of thing would probably be better, I think, because you just will be naturally tired from work. But physically tiring your body is another way of helping your system to sleep. As I say, do it 4 or 5 hours beforehand, so that when you get to bedtime, your body will be tired, it'll want to sleep. Sighting the moon can be helpful, particularly with jet lag. I found that pretty helpful. It's something that we're very linked with the moon. So if you're you've been traveling and you are trying to reset your body clock for sleep, going out and looking at the moon helps you. Helps that rhythm to reset in your system. And then if you're having trouble sleeping, test all the things. Screen sensitivity. Some people are very sensitive to screens. Some people have to stop looking at screens half an hour before they go to bed. The blue light thing is another thing you could test, putting your screen onto blue light. Check for electronic device proximity. Some people really feel the radiation more than others. The further away from your head the phone is, the better. The temperature in the room can make a big difference as well. So you can experiment with that just to find a temperature. Generally colder is better. Hot rooms are harder to sleep in. Beverages, some people, stimulants, if they have a cup of tea, a cup of coffee or something like that, close to bedtime, it just makes it very hard for them to transition into sleep. So, test all those things, environmental conditions of the room that you're in. All right, that's all I have for you this week. I trust you're well. I trust you're of good cheer. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.